Sometimes life presents you with a simple choice, each option with their own advantages and pitfalls. Other times, as in the case of to do or to die, there is an obvious answer. But still, how to execute on this decision requires knowledge, and the journey provides its own set of lessons. Things we might have already known if our daddies had decided to get up and teach us anything at all. But that's okay, because today, Eric Estrada is our daddy. He has much to teach, and we have much to learn. So we'll start as we open on a luau at Jermaine's Luau Emporium. I assume that's Edie's brother? The crowd is here to celebrate the Molokai Children's Hospital Fund as the driving rhythm of the drums works us into that island vibe. Ooh, cha, yeah. A truly sublime experience that these honkies are just eating up. The cultural tourism is interrupted, however, when a man who would, in the modern era, be little more than a mid-level fitness influencer summons Donna and Nicole, not Pantera anymore, out to the parking lot for a liaison with Big Daddy Kane. He just wanted to share the good news that he's made a six-figure donation to the aforementioned charity in their names. Hey, thanks, bro, but that's just a little sugar to help them swallow the bitter pill that he intends to kill them for mucking up his crime syndicate's various shenanigans. And that's a callback to Rule 115. He notes their prodigious reputation for survival, belied by being subdued with simple wrist locks, and their love for a good challenge.
Can't get enough of a good challenge. It's what I live for.
Yes, we all love this. As a sporting man who is also obsessive about how others perceive his fairness, he is compelling them to play in an equitable game of death. He has 6 teams of assassins hired to hunt them down. If they do, then they earn their freedom. If they die, then they will be dead. A simple premise simply stated for our benefit. But honestly, this has me stressed the F out, as are the ladies, so they go to soak their biddies in the hot tub and satellite call their handler Lucas for a debrief. This is an easy one for him. They're to go to see Norm G outside Las Vegas for a special device to help them on their quest and receive further instructions. Back at Kane's office/apartment penthouse, it's revealed that a chip was surreptitiously attached to Donna's wristwatch, which allows them to constantly track her whereabouts. With the pieces in place and the dogs on full display, the game is afoot. Since the official kickoff time was noon, the ladies do very little to cover their tracks as they head out into the open air, driving topless. But they are soon approached by an unfriendly helicopter looking to get a jump on the games. Nicole immediately pulls out a little pop banger and begins to exchange fire. They eventually pull over and duck into a private alcove for cover. When it's clear that they are outclassed, Nicole loads up the rocket cane, a classic of guerrilla warfare, and leaves behind a shower of flaming debris and body parts. As they make their way to the airport for their flight to Honolulu, we find Kane giving what appears to be the lamest shiatsu ever conducted.
It arouses all of my senses.
But I guess she likes it, and that's Rule 296. Floppy-fingered massages can be perfectly serviceable if it's what your partner prefers, so always make sure to discuss hand strength up front. They're disrupted when an alarm sounds and are horrified to find that Duke and Woody are ever so slowly making their way toward the death zone. This app must be tracking their soul's descent into hell because their bodies were fully evaporated quite a while ago. This turn of events is disappointing, but not alarming. The teams have been lined up in descending order of skill and value. While the girls make their way to Vegas with a noticeable jump in the complexity of their disguise efforts, we very awkwardly meet Captain Christian as he introduces Lucas to Colonel Richard Estevez, who goes by Rico. Both of these men, despite their disparate ages, are close to retirement. Lucas is authorized to initiate their early retirement, but will only do so if they first take on a hazardous final mission.
Don't I have anything to say about this?
Well, that's something personal for you to reflect on and answer for yourself. Donna and Nicole stumble upon a geo tracker with the top down and a glove box full of guns, so they know this was meant for them. As they make their way out to the salt flats, we find Team 2 is already there. They are activated by the fact that the chip on Donna's watch happened to come within 5 miles of their location. Lots of helpful survival tips in this one. In this case, number 54, which always warns against getting within a trackable circumference of any would-be assassins, especially when wearing a tracker. First thing they do, knowing time is limited, is strap up. in a variety of senses of the word. As it turns out, Norm is proctoring this event, which is where they're headed, so the tracking device is more of a timer in this scenario since the assassins somehow already knew where they were going to be. Fascinating. Once all eyes are on the sky, Norm G takes them to his trailer to reveal their secret weapon, and Nicole could not be less impressed. Their next step is to go to the Henderson airport, but first, they can enjoy the sights and sounds while he disassembles their new toy for transport. And our prior rule 181 is put on full display. Andy Sedaris clearly has a thing for RC vehicles, and he's able to leverage that interest in his job of producing cinematic experiences. Meanwhile,
I'm gonna blow their tits off.
just get ready, they're there! Despite all of this time, Team 2 spent so long with their ritualistic preparations, they missed their targets at the location. Luckily, they have a very inconspicuous chase vehicle. Once noticed, Donna takes advantage of the geo-tracker's superior handling over light gravel as chase number 2 is underway. Now, the agents don't know Christian or Rico are part of this, and the boys had no way of knowing their location, but here they are nonetheless, and they bail them out by creating distance with an RPG. Once they're stopped, it only takes 3 rockets to put them down. Since there's no chance of explaining what happened here, they leave their unexpected saviors to talk their way out of this one, which happens so quickly that they arrive at the airport right after. Upon closer inspection, Nicole and Christian realize they're old lovers. This leaves Rico and Donna to an obvious future coupling of convenience as the foursome flies to their next location. Then the alarm sounds, the bad one, indicating Ava and Skip are skipping their way up to heaven. This causes Kane to wax poetic about the nature of power and life and death and trusting others to do your work for you, despite the fact that this was only Team 2 of 6 and all of this was by his own choice. As the agents take a night flight in, the ladies doff their disguises. Rico knows the law says there's no reasonable expectation of privacy here, so he just enjoys the show, which he believes is technically not illegal. Once they check in with Lucas, they're instructed to go to Louisiana where they can all meet up at Big Pine Lodge. They will be part of a team that is to be assembled at familiar locales they already have B footage from and of familiar faces, like Edie, who has turned in her restaurateur's license to become a boudoir line dance singer, fulfilling her childhood dreams. And once fulfilled, Lucas rips her from this charmed life to her newest assignment. While he gets her on board, the targets are busy coming up with more unique ways to travel from point A to point B than a goddamn Harry Potter movie. But all they're really doing is slowly closing their own noose, as Team 3 lies in wait at their final destination, cooking up some fresh, delicious poison. The gang arrives at the lodge where Bobby Ray introduces them to the new cooks, who discover their murderous plans have a fatal flaw.
I think I'd prefer the catfish limon myself.
Now that sounds good.
What if your victims don't order the catfish almondine you prepared before their arrival? Luckily, they are able to successfully hard sell the house special, and then everyone takes a seat to await the final agents. It's a good thing Nicole has horrible table manners and that it takes them all a very long time to season and prepare their dishes, because it gives the cat time to die. Putting 2 and 2 together, they then welcome the boys in the back to do the same. Everyone's itching to get a couple notches on their belts, so the boys don't make it far before getting a grenade dropped on them that alerts everyone in the bayou to their location. Donna takes a victory lap to cheers from the onlookers, and this is a truly celebratory moment. They've made their first live arrest. Back at the penthouse, Kane very nearly beds his assistant with some sick lines about economic risk tolerance when they hear the familiar alarm in relation to Team 3. This implies that the poor chaps were killed in custody, unfortunately. As a consolation, Kane gets a sensual shiatsu on his dick. Finally, seeing Pat Morita in this position is exactly what the public has been begging for. Back at the lodge, the gang decides that it's time to go dark, as their enemy's intel seems to indicate there's a mole in the agency. The best course of action is to hole up at a safe house that only they know about. Before leaving, Donna shows Rico her cool RC helicopter, which he misinterprets as some sort of signal.
Can this be the end of little Rico?
The hell does that mean? You talking about your penis? We have to make that a rule. Number 111. Never use demeaning language when naming your member. You can do better. They head out at dawn under cover of darkness, and when they reach the docks, they make a trust pact. No double crossing allowed. After settling in and scheduling watches, Nicole takes advantage of the remoteness of the locale by getting in a friendly dry hump among the mosses and ferns. And it only takes one body shot for Christian to blow his load. Rico takes over the morning shift because he likes to practice his juggling in the crisp, clean air amongst the morning dew. He sees a couple of men dirt bike in their private dock, but it's all good. They're just fishing. Until they're not. Now, you might anticipate Rico clocking them and saving the day, but you would be completely wrong on that front. Looking to rectify his mistake, he mansplains motorcycling to Donna and takes off in hot pursuit. Christian's man eventually takes himself out, so to be fair, he gives him first round and tradesy shootsies, and still manages to come out on top. Rico then helps emphasize for us Rule 391. The most dangerous aspect of gunfire is the potential shrapnel. You can essentially negate any harm by simply averting your gaze away from the angle of attack. Rico is a more playful and creative predator, using the allure of slow, overhand baseball pitches to lull his prey into a state of instinctual sportsmanship before switching to the explosive ball he had hidden amongst the rest. Strike! They laugh about it, but you know who's not laughing at all? Kane, as he watches another duo join their friends in the netherworld. To make their final push, they're going to need some significant hardware. They elect to split up to resupply and meet back the next morning. Since they're synchronizing swatches and Edie has no timepiece, Donna lends her one, even though she is with others who have watches, and now Donna is watchless, but with others who have them. Equivalent situations making me start to wonder if some of these plot devices are overly contrived. They go to the dank hole where Lucas has his supplier stash his guns for him. After retrieving them, they agree to meet back at this spot by dawn. Why? Who knows? Maybe just so we can have spooky time in the woods, which ends when Shane nearly shoots his dick off right before he and Atlanta make awkward love under a raging waterfall. Team 5 gets the kill alert the next morning and skidoos their way in that direction. They're looking real good for a second before everyone gets to blasting and evading in equal measure. Tired of this nonsense, they break out the rifles with scopes. There is no evading that, unfortunately. Hot Dog and Sledge, you guys suck. Now it's time for the big dogs, Lou and Chen. They can do whip kicks, full side splits, kinda. Got it. And they like to oil up and slap each other around just for fun. So party's over, or just beginning, depending on what you like. When the wrecking crew first arrives at Lucas's safe house, they begin to feel comfortable enough to cast some aspersions about how they keep getting found. But damn it, Lucas has vouched for each of them and he stands by it, so who really knows? Well, they all do when Edie pops a Hungry Man dinner into the microwave and it nukes her delicate wrist skin. The damned watch has a damned laser microchip attached to it that got heated up by the waves, and also was likely used to track them.
That explains the attempt against us on the speedboat.
Edie, that explains everything. Then Lucas gets a mysterious call on his secret satellite channel that no one else knows about, begging the question of why he has it. It happens to be Kane, giving the ladies their props on their survival skills, which he already knew about and was the basis of this whole challenge. He proposes the final challenge just be outright hand-to-hand combat, an area where they've already proven to be deficient. Just ladies versus gents in a duel to the death. While the kill crew, Chen and Lu, head for their flight, there is some unnecessary tension about how to best approach this final trap. And then there is some gratuitous and unearned tension relief as Rico pulls an "it's me" in the pool with Donna. Finally, we all get to see what Eric Estrada is made of. Turns out he's a delicate lover who enjoys floating ladies around so he can feel like a big man. Once she puts his tuckered body to rest, she and Nicole secretly confirm the location so they can fulfill this honor-killing solo, as is their womanly duty. Their approach helps illustrate the deadly nature of Rule 245. As you can see, lady ninjas do not fully obscure themselves. As a result, you can never really know when a woman is also a ninja. Therefore, it is best to assume that all women are ninjas. Anyway, when it comes to managing business, they show these blokes that real life is more than oiling up and smacking around your homies. You gotta have that violence in you. Nicole gets pinned against a tree.
Why are you doing this to me?
Where have you been? But she quickly finds nature's bat, which is just a regular bat in the woods, and frees herself. Donna, meanwhile, manages to waylay her partner with the first throwable weapon we've seen her use that doesn't have an explosive strap to it, so that's progress. When they meet back up, they keep running, which seems to run contrary to their original intentions, although they may just be luring the lads into open air so they may make effective use of Norm G's special device. Remember that? And Rico is also there, at the secret location they stole away to under cover of darkness without anyone knowing about it. The agents pull a classic in female deception by pretending to be scared and alone in a shed so their pursuers can be exploded. Man, if I had a nickel.
What the hell is going on?
I don't know, maybe hang out a minute and see what's up. Riddle solved. With that also explode all of Kane's hopes and dreams, and he thought this was going to be so fun. With a link to his satellite phone from theirs, they now know his exact coordinates. All that's left is to collect as a group and congratulate themselves. With a new turncoat on the inside, they're just going to tag him with their own tracking device, by way of unsolicited gift, and take care of that business. But that, my friends, is a story for another day.
I knew that.
Fine, Eric, we get it. That certainly was enriching, and there were a few callbacks to rules from prior installments. Now you know that I'm not just full of crap. If you want to continue to up your game, be sure to check out this video next. Now that we're here, I want to congratulate you for making it to the end of the video, and affirm that you are a very special person because of it. If you enjoyed the video, I would love for you to become a part of the channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching.